Now let's take a look at bold, italics, and underline. So I'm going to delete everything there. I'm going to leave the body empty, and then I'm going to change the title to bold. So if I want something bold on the page, so we use the B tag to specify that we want a specific text to be bold, and if the B tag has a closing tag like that. So what we want to be bold, we enter in between the element. So I'm going to save this, save as, so that I can have a separate copy. I'm going to say bold.html. Go to where it's saved, and as you can see, we have our page there. Double click on it as to open it, and as you can see, this text is bold. So as we specified, you can see that the font style is bold. As you can see, let's enter an italics tag. We need to use this I tag to specify an italics text. The I tag also has an opening and a closing tag. I'm going to save this, go back to the browser, refresh, and as you can see, font style is italics. So when you go back to the code, we entered 2 lines, but then when you go back to the browser, see that they're in the same line, which if you wanted to separate them, we use the BR tag like we just did. See? Good. To specify an underline text, you need to use the U tag. The U tag has an opening and a closing tag. What you want to be underlined, you put in between the element. We're going to save this, refresh, and as you can see, it's underlined. If you want this line to be in its own line, save, and as you can see, each sentence is in a separate line, and bold, italics, and underlines. Simple stuff. Now with headings, there are 6 levels of headings. Let's look at those. We're going to change this to heading example. Remove everything from the body tag. We're going to save this as the heading. And don't forget the crucial part, which is .html. Save it. Okay, now it's saved. As you can see there, heading example. Double click on it, but then it's empty. We did not enter anything in the body tag, so that's why it's empty. So let's look at the heading tags. So we have 6 levels of headings. The first one is H1, which is the biggest heading or the most important heading in the page. The H1 tag has an opening and a closing tag, and what you want to be specified as a heading, you put in between the opening and closing tag. So you're going to say save this, refresh on the page, and as you can see, it's big, it's bold, it has a white space before it, it has a white space beneath it. And let's look at the second level. I'm going to copy and paste this. So that's the second level, the heading, which is the second largest or the second important heading in the page. Save this, refresh, and as you can see, it's still bold, but it's a bit smaller than H1. So if you notice here, we do not have to manually go to the next line. Headings are block level elements, which means that they automatically occupy the entire line in its own line. So if I say break, you see it leaves a bigger space. So with heading elements, you do not have to enter line breaks to manually go to the next line. It will automatically do that for you. So I'm going to enter all 6 by copying and pasting this. I'm going to save this once it's done. go to the page, refresh it, and as you can see, we have 6 levels of headings, in which H1 is the biggest, H6 is the smallest, H1 is the most important one, and H6 is the least important one on the page. Now, when I talk about the level of importance, I'm referring to how the search engines will look at your page. And so when the robots crawl your pages, it's gonna identify this heading as the most important one and this one as the least important one. So as you can see, 6 levels of headings. Let's look at the next part. Superscripts and subscript. I'm going to rename this to soup. Remove everything from the body. I'm going to save as, I say soup sub. Don't forget the crucial part, I almost did, .html. Save this. When we go here to where it's saved, you can see there, soup sub. We open this in the browser and it's empty because we didn't enter anything in the body. So let's enter something. So we're going to use a paragraph to enter Benoni. We want to go to the next line, so we're going to use br tag. Then we're going to say, close the paragraph. Let's view this in the browser. As you can see, but what if you want this to go slightly up or this to go slightly at the bottom? This is where subscripts and superscripts come in. So we use soup for superscript. Soup tag has an opening and a closing tag. So what we want it to be a superscript, we put in between the opening and closing tag of soup, as we did there. Save this, go to the browser, and as you can see, it goes slightly up. So we use the sub tag to specify a subscript. The sub tag has an opening and a closing tag. And then we're going to enter FC in between because we want that to be the subscript. We're going to save, go to the browser, refresh, and as you can see, it goes slightly to the bottom. I know you're wondering, where can you actually use this in a real life application? Well, if you think of mathematics or physics, you have H2O, in which 2 is slightly at the bottom. In mathematics, you have x to the power squared, so this is how you would enter the power 2 or whatever the case might be. So they are very useful. Don't think they're just designed to, have fun. If you want to cancel something on the page, but then you want the user to still see it, you can use the Strikeout to achieve that. Let's use the same example. So I want to cancel Brackpan, but I still want my users to see it. To see the word Brackpan, this is what I'd do. I'd say strike. So the strike tag has an opening and a closing, so we need to close it. So I want to cancel the word Brackpan. File, save, go to the browser, refresh, and as you can see, Brackpan is now cancelled out, but the user can still see it. As a shortcut for strike, we can simply say S. You can use the S tag to cancel text. Let's save this, refresh, and it's still the same, as you can see. So in most cases, you're going to use S because it's quite short and simple to use. So that's it with this part of the tutorial series. Hope you enjoyed it. These are the basic tags. Try to experiment, do some examples. So in the next tutorial, we'll be looking at joining all of these and trying to create a page with the tags that we now know. So see you in the next tutorial, guys. Cheers.